ho 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 ho! Look who is back, baby! Yes, woo! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? I hope that you're doing well. Oh my God, it's been a while since you heard my crazy, sexy voice. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say that this is season two of the Mike Yanek show, and yes, there have been some big changes over the holiday seasons in the holiday period. I took, some time off so I can come back stronger and bigger than ever before. And yes, as you can see, I don't know if you can see my little table. I will post it probably somewhere on my social media. This is what Santa Claus brought me for as a present this Christmas. And yes, I have a new table, have a little setup, the brand new studio. Well, it's not a new studio; it's just a different part of my place in it. But yeah, this is a work in progress. I'm gonna be adding a few more stuff in the background, and I'm gonna put like a sign or like Mike Yannick show stuff over here and other stuff over here. We're gonna get a new couch, hopefully, in a few weeks. And yeah, I hope you're doing well, mate. I took some time off, because it was Christmas and it was the holidays and all that stuff. I hope that you enjoyed yourself and that you had a new, nice Christmas and nice holidays and all that stuff. I hope that you watch my Christmas special. I had a lot of fun recording it, and it was almost about 2 hours, or I think a little bit more. And also because now I'm in a new space, and obviously I need to do some more work with the lights and probably buy another light as well. But now you're not going to have the glaring. Sun was all over the place and all behind the wall, and I was overexposed and all that stuff. So now you can see me in my full glory. Yes, internet, how you doing? I look like a savage. I have a beard. I'm going full castaway. Okay, fuck it, bro. I don't care anymore. Okay, I'm growing my hair, and I'm going. Unfortunately, I cannot grow, like facial hair properly. I can do only mustache and this fucking little thing over here. But it is what it is. I'm doing the best I can, okay? Because currently barber shops are closed again. Let's not talk about it because I'm gonna lose my shit, okay? We on fucking they lock us up again anyway, and I didn't go. I was like thinking last week, should I go and get a haircut? And I was like, oh, I feel lazy and this and that. And my barber, he's like having the time of his life. He's on holiday somewhere. No, he's not on holiday. He took a few days off and stuff, but I was like, nah, I'll do it later. And then boom, all of a sudden, because over here they close us overnight, they literally tell us like 12 o'clock or like 8 o'clock at night, and they were like, well, in the morning everything's closed. So yeah, everything's closed now, and I'm genuinely considering maybe cutting my own hair, which, oh my God, you know what, I should do like a clip or something. That would be funny though, innit? One day I should open a Patreon after I get a bit more people, and I have so many ideas, by the way, for like exclusive content and stuff. But I think that's a good, I mean, I'm not gonna put it on Patreon. I'll just put it on YouTube and stuff for free. But oh my God. Was that scene? Was it in Taxi Driver where he cuts his hair and just looks at the mirror and stuff? I think that was the movie, or maybe it's another one. So yeah, I'll go full crazy. Oh, I'll tell you a story when we talk about cutting hair. Today is the 1 year anniversary of the show, by the way, and yeah, it's just it's just crazy nonsense. This is the show usually. If you've never seen it before, just me ranting. I usually talk about. I'm a stand-up comedian. I usually talk about gigs that I've done recently, but I haven't done comedy in about since March 2020. Since March 2020, I've done a total of 9 gigs because we had this period of about a month and a half, 2 months, where they lifted all the restrictions. So yeah, I've done 9 gigs in 1 year, pretty much. So fucking hell, there's nothing to talk about. So I'm just talking about other stuff. And when I was a teenager, when I was 16, no, from 17 to 19, I used to be a party animal. Whoa, I used to be a bad boy. And I used to be, deep into the rap game, balls deep. And I used to have a shaved head, always, like for about 3 years. And it never crossed my mind to grow my hair out. But when I first came to the UK, I worked in a farm for about 3 or 4 months, and that's a story that I'm gonna tell you because it's a long saga. It's gonna take 4 or 5 episodes to tell you everything, and I'll give you all the details. There's so many crazy stories, bro. What the hell? So when I came over to the UK, I was still with a shaving head, right? But the thing is, on the farm, we worked with these hats. But the thing is, because the sun was, gleaming or whatever. Even though it's the UK, it's still sunny. It used to be still sunny during the summer, and I started to get like tan lines. You know what I mean? Because of the hat, and I'm shaven head, and I just left my hair to grow. I have my machine, little little buzz cut or whatever, and I have this machine for dude, maybe like 13 or 14 years now, and it works perfectly. Like bloody hell, Jesus, so good. I think it's Panasonic or something. I'm not sure, and and I was like, I need to grow my hair because I used to have, the hat, with the little adjustment at the back, and I used to turn it around because like when it has a front, it was kind of like distracting me and stuff. So I turned it around, and I used to have this little spot here, just red spot, of the sun, and like red spots here on my face as well, red. But then when I remove my hat, everything's white, and I was like, fuck it. So I just grow out my hair. And then I moved to London, and I started working at an office job, and I was like, it's not gonna look good, like an Eastern European white guy with a shaven head. I was like, it's not gonna go well in London, you know what I'm saying? I'm very progressive, I'm very open-minded. I'm just saying it for the record. If this is the first time you're seeing the Mechanic Show, okay, everybody who knows me can vouch for me. Please don't deport me. I love this country way too much. And but what I used to do is, because I used to be a savage, I don't know, bro. Mm, I'm like socially awkward, you know what I mean? Especially back in the day when I was younger. I'm better now, but I don't know. And it was weird because when I first came here, I didn't go to a barber for the first few years because I don't know, man. It's just I was feeling weird, and my English was good, but I was still making mistakes. And whenever I made a mistake when I spoke English, I felt very embarrassed and very bad, if I mess up a word, or maybe I mess up a sentence, or I don't understand somebody. Especially used to live in Scotland, and everybody has wacky accents over there. And I literally had cases when I walk into a store, especially at the beginning, because I was not used to their accent. And they're like, oh, fucking, and I was like, sorry. And they repeat the sentence, and I don't understand. And I'm like, sorry, can you say again? And they repeat it for the third time, and I panic so much. When I go to a corner store or a chip shop or whatever, I know I order something, and the guy asks me, I don't know, do you want beans or coleslaw? But I don't understand the accent. And he repeated it 3 times, and everybody's looking at me, you know what I mean? And I get so embarrassed, and like, oh my God. And this is, when I was 22, 23, a young lad. And, and I'm just like, and I'm like, I have no idea what he's saying. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's asking me. So sometimes I just leave, or I just like, okay. And they just look at me like, I just ask you, do you want beans or coleslaw with your meal or whatever? And I say, okay, right? So I didn't go to barber because, they always start talking to you. And like, you're there for half an hour, dude, they always talk to you. Even though my barber now, I go to him, and, he's a great guy. And we always talk about sports and boxing and all that stuff. And so I didn't go for the first few years. So my machine, because I knew how to do it, you just put the little thing on the top, and bzz, bzz, bzz. I don't go bald head, but I can cut my hair pretty decently, and I used to do it every 2 or 3 weeks. One night, I'll never forget this. I'm in London. I'm working in the office, by the way, and sorry, everybody knows me, and I have like I've always had like big hair, except those 3 years. And my hair is very wild. When it gets long, it does whatever the hell it wants, right? And everybody knew me with this big luscious hair, especially back in the day. And I'm like, it's time for me to cut it because it was quite long. And I don't know what happened, right? I'm playing some, I don't know, some video, music or whatever in the background, and I put the little thing, But the thing is, because sometimes it moves. I don't know how is it called. The little adjustment or whatever kind of moves, so you can adjust the length of your hair that is going to be cut, right? And I'm starting to cutting, just a regular, but I kind of pushed by accident, and the adjustment went to the bottom. So pretty much it was like number 1, because they have 0, number 2, number 3, or whatever. And I usually do like the longest, which is number 5 or 6 or something, which is like that long, which is not that bad. And I went to 1, which is literally like 0 is nothing, but 1 is like this much. And I remember here at the front, by accident, and I did this, like in the movies, and I had this fucking huge patch over here of nothing. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And I was like, no. I started like, I didn't know. I probably cried. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm very vain, but I cried. And I was like, oh my God, no. What did I do? And I just looked at it. And this is like 10 o'clock or something on a fucking Wednesday. And I need to go to work the next day. And because in London it takes such a long time to travel and stuff, even though I was in West London at that point, so I didn't travel that much, but it was still 40 minutes, 40, 50 minutes from my door to work, 1 hour, which is nothing. If you can do door to door for an hour in London, oh, that's like, oh my god, that's nothing. I used to travel hour and a half to 2 hours. No, yeah, from door to door about 2 hours, hour 45, the whole travel hour and a half, which is fucking insane. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I literally have a patch here, and I cannot wear a hat. I'm wearing a suit. I don't wear a suit, but I was wearing like a shirt, a thigh, a tie, a thigh. Yeah, it would be funny if I wear a thigh around my neck, like a V-neck. You know what I mean? Like dress shoes, just very, very proper. You know what I'm saying? And we're like a business consultancy, and I do marketing research, and I'm like an apprentice as well, and I greet clients, and I keep them entertained while the boss comes over and they have the proper meeting, that stuff. You know what I mean? And sometimes I go and pick up clients, like if they don't know London and all that type of stuff. And I was like, I cannot work with a beanie over the hat, and I just shaved my head. I was like, damn, bro. And I was like, fuck, I was so mad, and I shaved my head, and I haven't seen me as a shaven head maybe. So I was 22, or maybe for like a year and a half or 2 years. But like, if I see myself now with a shaven head, because the last time I saw it was 8 years ago, I'll be like, that's a different person. I don't recognize that person. So I shaved my head, and everybody in the office the next day, they literally, when they walked in, hey, how you doing, like in the movies, everybody just stopped, like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? And I'm just coming up with some bullshit, bro. I'm talking about, oh, I used to be shaved head when I was a teenager. I'm getting back to my heritage and roots and my teenagers. I literally said that to one of the colleagues. I'm talking all type of smack, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't tell them what happened. I don't know why, but I was kind of like embarrassed and stuff, because I was confident, but it's like a different type of confidence. When you're 22 or 23, even if you're confident, you kind of you're still insecure, but you kind of put like a good face, a good mask on. You know what I mean? So you can pretend, you can bullshit yourself, and you can bullshit other people for a while that you're confident. But I was still very insecure, so I didn't tell them. You know what I mean? It's like making up stories and shit, and everybody gave me such a bad look. I'll never forget this. So I'm going, and this is winter, by the way. And the thing about me is, I like I'm very international the way I look. You get, like, most people when they meet me, they cannot tell from which country I am, even though I have an accent, but it's not like a traditional, Eastern European accent. So it's kind of like I've got everything. I've got Brazil, I've got, so Italy and Spain, those were the usually two ones. One time a guy said that I was Romanian, which was like, he's actually the closest that a person has ever been to where I'm actually from. I'm from Bulgaria, which is a neighboring country. I got a Greek one time. I was Brazilian, I think I mentioned, Canadian. One guy said, "Are you American?" And I was like, I was like, bro, Jesus Christ, man. Of course I'm not. Listen to my accent. America, goddamn. Uh, my name is Mike Yanek, and I'm from the great state of Mississippi. Can you imagine? That'd be hilarious if I talk like that. And I was like, yeah, from Bulgaria. Where you from, goddammit? What else? Argentina, France. I got a few times from France, Portugal. Mostly Europeans, but like South Europeans as well. So it's very, you can never tell where I'm from. You know what I mean? And during the winter, the summer, if it's a bit sunny, I get very, very. I tan easily. You know what I mean? Because Bulgarians are usually quite tan. I'm actually very pale for a Bulgarian. And but during the summer, during the winter, if I'm shaven, I don't know why, but if I have like facial hair and like big hair, I tan more easily. But if I shaved everything, I am very pale, especially during the summer, the winter, when there's no sun and stuff. And I remember I used to be so pale, and I didn't have a beard or anything back then. And I've always had that mean look, especially when I was younger. I'm kind of like settling down now, but I used to have like just mean mugging, and I wasn't like a mean crazy guy. I mean, I used to be when I was a teenager, but I'm okay now, especially when I came to the UK. But I've always had that look of like, you know what I mean? And I remember I walk into subway, tube, call it the tube in London, which is like the metro, whatever the hell they call it in New York. Well, they have subway, yeah, they call it subway in New York. And I walk in, and listen, London is probably the most diverse city after Paris, I think, in Europe, right? So I walked in, and you have people of all creed and nationalities and races or whatever, and they all are united and looking at me and giving me such bad looks because I literally look like skinhead. You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't. And I'm not, but I literally looked because because I started wearing very I like burgundy stuff. I like boots. I've always had like a few pairs of uh like a variation of army boots, the tall black ones. I've always liked them because they're sturdy, they look very badass, and they have a thick sole, so they make me a bit taller. And I've always had like, black jackets or like leather jackets and that type of clothing. And scarf, always wear like a burgundy, not a burgundy, those checked scarves or whatever. And I literally look like a skinhead or like hooligan or something like that. And they fucking, oh my god, I was getting some mean looks. And you know what I mean? I'm not, fair enough, I understand, but I was like, fuck, bro. And that kind of teaches you a lesson, you know what I mean? Not to be way too judgmental on people because you never know just because somebody looks a certain way. Well, yeah, if he's looking proper like that and carrying flags and stuff, fair enough. But, and I was like, fuck, and I felt so uncomfortable. And I bought a hat. I don't usually wear hats. I started now because I'm an old fuck and I get headaches when it's too cold. But fucking hell, man. And so yeah, everybody was giving me mean looks. Hold on, I have my little. Oh no, I forgot to turn my. I have my watch so I know how many minutes I've done, and I forgot to turn it on. Come on, Mike, not on the first episode of season 2. God damn it. I want to see how much I've done, and it's dark in here, so I don't know. Who cares? It's a 5-hour show. So yeah, it was crazy, man. And I bought a hat. I never wore hats, and I kind of concealed my identity. And but now I'm a sweet boy. And yeah, especially like fucking hell, man. It was crazy. People gave me such bad looks. And yeah, it teaches you a lesson, man. And I even thought to myself, man, I will never, because sometimes we're just humans, man. We're flawed like that. And when you see somebody like dressed, I'm very judgmental towards hippies, and I'm very open about it. Like just white guys with dreadlocks and like filthy clothes, and like I don't like that whole hippy dippy shit. Even when I used to be a partier and teenager and that type of stuff, and we used to run in circles like that, like artists and like street artists, a lot of like rap community and like basketball and all that type of stuff. Even back then, when we go to parties, they used to be like these little groups and cliques of the hippies and like the new age and like drugs and that type of stuff. I never liked those people, and I never hang out with them because I don't know, man. I'm very judgmental, you know what I'm saying? And when I see them, but even though now, I mean, I have a few people throughout my life, I had few people like that in my life, and I was like, yeah, they're not that bad. But I'm very like, I'm not germophobic, but I'm very like, I like cleanliness, you know what I mean? So it drives me crazy. So it has to be clean around me. Maybe that's why. Just take a shower, okay? Is it that difficult? Just take a shower. I'll buy you soap, everything. You know what I'm saying? We used to have this guy. Oh, listen, we used to have this guy in my school. Oh my god, bro. Damn it. Oh, we used to have the. Is this? Am I gonna shame the guy? We live in weird times. I don't fucking know. We used to have this guy in my class, right? I'm not gonna mention his name, but he was the smartest guy probably in the school, right? He used to study like all the time, only ace, just aces everywhere, and ace everywhere, and just like he knew everything. And whenever there was a test, and our class, we're dumb as fuck, bro. Honestly, like we don't know jack shit. But the thing about this guy is, I'm not saying this to make fun of him. I hope that he's well, but I think he was one of those guys. He didn't take a shower, like literally never took a shower, never brushed his teeth, like always dirty. You know what I mean? And relatively with the same clothes, and he smelled horrendous. You know what I mean? But the thing is, he had a sister. She was a year older, and they lived in the same house, and she was in the same school, and she was super clean, bro. She never smelled, and she was kind of pretty actually as well. And I was like, so it's not like a house thing, you know what I mean? And I don't know if he's like some mental thing, like those crazy hoarders and stuff. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know if I should say this story because I don't want to come off like I'm making fun of him, but I'm not, but I'm just telling you, like, you need to wash up, you know what I'm saying? So, we're opening this season of the Mike Yanek show with some fucking nasty stuff over here. That's what you sign up for, okay? Sit here and pay attention. And so hold on, listen. I'm laughing too much because I'm remembering the story. I'm not gonna say everything. I'm just gonna mention it in the future episode. I'll probably talk more about it. But I remember because we were so stupid. In our class, the only goal we had as a class, just pass. Okay, we're stupid. We're not going to learn anything. We're not gonna have A's or B's or whatever. Just pass. Just the bare minimum so we can finish this shit and get out of here. You know what I mean? And every time there was a test or sometimes the teacher, she says, and during the break we walk in and she walks in and she says, today we're gonna have a test, or today I'm going to get 10 people on the board and we're gonna ask them questions or whatever. And then she leaves for a few minutes until we settle down, and we all used to go to him, oh my god, tell me this, tell me that. And I remember, and he was one of those guys, I think he was not aware of his stank. So I remember, oh, me too, we're just sitting there, bro, and he's next to you sit next to him, and bro, he's just fucking, oh god, man, breath kicking like Bruce Lee, you know what I mean? Like, pa, pa, pa. No fucking joke, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's like catapulting dead raccoons in your face. Like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, man. And I remember, like, hey, you gotta listen, man. If you wanna pass, you sit there and you smell that fucking guy, and he's gonna do your test. And we used to cheat of this guy non-stop, and I'm very grateful. If it wasn't for this guy, I probably wouldn't be here. I'll probably be back in high school in Bulgaria, 31-year-old in the fucking 11th grade or whatever. So I mean, I'm not saying it to shame this guy, but I just remember when we talk about nastiness, and I improvise a lot on the show. I usually have so much stuff to talk about, but so I leave it for the next episode. And yeah, we're just sitting there. Oh, dude, man, fucking hell. Yeah, but just clean up, you know what I mean? And that's why I was kind of like, I don't know if I should continue and tell you the full story, because I feel weird when I talk about. I don't want to I don't want to shame him, even though, most anybody watching, you never know who he is. But if you are from my class, you dying laughing now because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's about it. So listen, today, and again, hey, listen, man, I hope that he's well, and I hope that, but I think that he has a nice job now, and he's like an engineer or something. He's a fucking clever guy. And look at me, I'm a fucking bum. You know what I mean? I haven't done anything with my life. So yeah, maybe if I didn't spend all that time showering, hey, I'll have more time to study and to become smart and to have an actual career and make a good living. So listen, so today is the 1 year anniversary of the show. I was about to talk about it the whole show, but I'm not, because I have like 10 minutes, I think 15 left. And but yeah, just it's fucking great, man. I've been doing this for 1 year. I know it's nothing, okay? I know, like, in the podcast world, there are people who have been doing it for 15 years, and there are people who literally have 1,000 episodes out there, and their shows are like 4 hours each, and you know what I mean. And most of my favorite podcasts, I'll do one day like a list of all my favorite podcasts and stuff. But my favorite, they are very long, and I'm very loyal. I've been listening to them for 5-6 years, and it's their full-time job and stuff. But for me, I've never done this before, and I'm actually quite, I don't know, quite happy. I mean, I don't have a big following. I only have like 40 something subscribers, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very thankful for, and we're slowly building up, because the plan was completely different. The plan was, and I've mentioned it so many times, the plan was, I'm a comedian first, stand-up comedian. That's what I want to do, okay? But this is fun because, you get to improvise, you get to talk, you get to tell stories, because I have so many stories. But on stage, I don't talk about my personal life. That's like kind of the rule I have. I just feel weird talking about my dad and about my uncle who thought that he was a mobster and a gangster. And, I actually remember the story. I'm going to tell it in a future episode. My uncle, he was like a constant, entrepreneur and a businessman, and he always comes up with these businesses. Some of them legit, some of them not legit, Ponzi schemes, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He had this business where he had this thing which was literally a Viagra, but in the form of a gel. Like those jams, and it was like strawberry flavored or whatever jam, and you can literally spread it on toast and you eat it like Viagra on toast. And I was like the guy in charge of the marketing for the UK or whatever, and I actually was the test dummy or whatever for trying the stuff as well. And I'll tell you the full story. It's fucking ridiculous. He got me to contact Scottish gay clubs, okay? To promote, like, he's an old school guy. He grew up in a different time. He has different views of the world, okay? And I'm out there contacting all these Scottish gay bars to offer them fucking Viagra on toast. You know what I'm saying? And if you're like, what now? If you're thinking right now, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, listen, stick to the show, and in a few episodes, I'll tell you. So I don't feel like I cannot find enough punchlines. Or maybe I haven't tried, but to talk about this on stage, even though a lot of British comedians have told me that if I talk more about growing up in Bulgaria, being Eastern European, all that stuff, people will really enjoy it. And I can make a pretty good, I think my career will fast forward much quicker if I do the whole, hey, hello everybody, like the low hanging fruit comedy, and like me roasting them, like, hey, you British people, that type of stuff. I had like bits like that, few tiny bits at the beginning, and people love them. But I was like, you know what, I'll try to do something like, I just want to be me, I'm just a comedian. I'm not like the Bulgarian guy or like the foreign comedian. Like, I don't, that's hacky, you know what I mean? I mean, I do have some bits like that, obviously, but I want to try like my fashion police bit. I'm very super happy with that bit, and it's probably my favorite bit of all time that I've ever done so far, and most people really love it. But it's through my perspective as me, Mikey boy. You know what I mean? Like flamboyant, crazy, wild guy. Not through the perspective like, oh, I'm a foreigner or I'm Bulgarian and I'm this. No, 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 just me. That's my. And it has like this bit can be done by anybody, like a man, a woman, doesn't matter where you're from. You know what I mean? It's like that type of. So it's like very ambiguous to I don't know what the word, whatever the fuck it is, but I do have some bits where I just look through my perspective as a foreigner, but I don't be like, oh, as a foreigner, this, but so I was like, I don't want to go for low hanging fruit. I just want to be like creative and original, and to do stuff that I want to do. I don't want to be like the fucking guy telling Eastern European jokes for 20 years. You know what I mean? If that's you, that's no problem. You do you, okay? You do you, girl. Yes. And hold on. So yeah, I've been doing this 50 episodes, 51 episodes now. I'm very happy. I don't know. It's um just to be consistent. I'm very happy that I think only one time the podcast was late with maybe like few hours, maybe like 4 or 5 hours, because just the editing, and they used to be hour and a half, and the reason I stopped doing them hour and a half, I was actually quite happy with the VO time, but the reason is because my computer is not that fast and my internet is not that good, because it's shared internet. It literally took me 18 hours to upload a single episode, and it took me 8 hours to export. You know what I mean? And I was like, because it's 1080p or whatever, and I was like, that's too much. That's crazy. Is this thing still recording? Hold on. I think so. And because it says like low power and stuff, and I was like, I cannot do that. You know what I mean? I cannot fucking have all these hours and stuff, and it takes a long time. That's why they have an hour. But now with this setup, I'm thinking, just power up this thing a bit more, and just maybe record 2 or 3 episodes in a day, because now I have these shutters here on the sun, so I can record at any time I want. That's the best thing, because before I had literally only a few hours, because it gets way too dark or it's way too sunny, and it was very difficult. But now I can do whatever I want, and slowly but surely building up. And if you haven't listened to the first episode, go back and listen to it. There was like a very nice intro that I used to do, like, Mike Yanek Show, chupa 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 best show on the planet, chupa chupa Mike Yanek Show, chupa 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 best show on the planet, chupa chupa bow wow 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 wow. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome your host to this podcast, Mr. Mike Yanek. Yeah, woo, yeah, we love you, Mike. Bam. That used to be the intro, you know what I mean? But sometimes I don't start off well with the podcast. Maybe I mess up something, or like, oh, let me start off again. And every time, because it's not pre-recorded, I do it every time differently. So I was like, oh, I have to do this again. So I was like, nah, let's just get straight to the point. I want to be, that's why I don't have intros and all that stuff. You just have the logo on the front, and that's it. But the plan was, I'll just do stand up. I wanted to do a podcast. I started the podcast actually was it 6th of January 2020, which was perfect because by the time our first lockdown in the UK came, which was middle of March, I've already had maybe like around 10 to 12 episodes, and I kind of got the gist of it and just started doing it. It's great. So I had a head start pretty much, and I had these posters, like little leaflets, and I was like, I'll do a gig. I'm very friendly after gigs, and I'm not shy or anything like that, show business in it. And I was like, I'll just talk to people, I'll give out my leaflets, I'll promote my podcast, and this is how I'm going to build a following, And then I'll just use YouTube as the platform to promote it, I don't want to be a YouTuber, nothing wrong with that, but maybe if they keep locking us up all the time, maybe I'll become a YouTuber, because comedy, I don't know when the fuck is coming back in it. So I was like, I'm just going to do that, and just going to put clips of my comedy, just put it in a series, and just be very serious about it and consistent, because I'm the type of guy, like, for me, doing a New Year's resolution is dead easy, because I follow through. I've been putting myself resolutions since 2016, and I've always followed through. I mean, it doesn't mean I'll accomplish everything, but I've always had, like, for this year, I have 44. I don't call them resolutions, because it's kind of like, it's like, oh, what I want to do in the next month or whatever. I call them goals, for 2021. I have 44 goals for 21, and I'll follow on all of them. I don't know. Hold on. I'm just in my sack. I don't know how many of them I'll accomplish, but they're like different. They're like personal, business, professional, social media and YouTube goals, stand-up comedy goals, podcast goals, and all that stuff. 44 of them. So that easy. This is just how I am. I'm like disciplined, and I follow through. I learned that very quickly when I was a teenager. I was very lucky, and maybe it's genetic as well, because this is just how I am. I've never had a problem with that. I mean, some days I'm like, oh, I don't want to work, but I still do the work anyway, But yeah, but 2020 said, not today, baby. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, in the NBA, when somebody shoots or somebody goes for a dunk, and it's like clean pathway, and the guy's thinking like, oh, I'm gonna slam it now, and all of a sudden this like center who is like 6'4", comes out of nowhere and just literally bam slaps the ball out of your hand, who just like jumps all over you and destroys you. So pretty much 2020 was that center, and 7'4". Shaquille O'Neal, 2020 was Shaquille O'Neal, just like, not in my house, motherfucker. So I didn't, I couldn't do the stuff that I wanted to do. But that's the thing, though. You gotta adapt. You gotta be a ninja out there. You know what I'm saying? When they throw those shots, you just gotta move, stick and move. And so that's what it is. You just adapt. And you do a podcast, you do social media, you try to find different ways. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, like, just go and listen to the first episode. It's very different from now. I was super nervous. I was babbling. It's kind of hard to listen at some points, but the stories are very good. The story is about me buying a bunch of bananas when I first came to the UK, because bananas are very expensive in Bulgaria, even until this day, I think, but back in the day as well. It's a full story, like half an hour story. It's very funny. And the second one, I don't remember what was the second one, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I have to look. But yeah, you can go and listen to it. And that's about it. Season 2. We're gonna slowly but surely build this thing up. And the little desk over here, I need to buy something for the desk, have little toys or whatever. Do the things in my jigs, and I have to buy some stands, because the way things are balanced right now is so funny in my room. But yeah, that's about it, mate. I hope that you're having a great week. I'll see you next week. And listen, I'm going to be putting out, like the movie review slowly but surely. I want to do like this rant, because this feels like a late night show host desk You know what I mean? And I want to have maybe like a few cameras, maybe like two cameras. I'm also investing in a camera. I want to buy something. If somebody knows anything about good cameras, my budget is up to 350. Let me know in the comments, or like find me on social media or whatever, and I'll start doing, like little segments again. And I want to do like a little different show, maybe where I just rant, or it's more like edited as well, or more like jokey or whatever, because this is long form and just me telling stories and talking shit and all that type of stuff. Okay, mate, have a nice week, and I'll see you next week. And yeah, if you haven't told a friend, hold on, I need to do eye contact because I was looking which button I need to press over here. I need to do eye contact. If you haven't told a friend about the show, tell a friend about the show, and let's spread the word, and let's get up to 1 million subscribers in 2020. Whoa! Bye!